Israelis, with their distinct calendar and daily practice of hand-delivering letters to God through prayer at the Western Wall, capture the world's attention. From unexpected regulations to fascinating traditions, this nation, brimming with brilliant minds, offers a captivating glimpse into life unlike anywhere else. Join us as we delve into the unique aspects of Israeli life, exploring the intriguing blend of quirky laws and cherished customs that define this extraordinary country. A center of Jewish life. Israel, the sole Jewish nation on earth, stands as a testament to a remarkable fact. It is the homeland of the world's most intellectually esteemed community, the Jewish people. Established as a Jewish state, Israel's identity was firmly articulated in its Declaration of Independence and enshrined in basic law. With a population of 8,680,000 inhabitants, Jews constitute a significant majority, numbering 6,484,000 individuals, making up 74.4% of the total populace. Remarkably, Israel is the only nation where Jews dominate demographically, with 75% being native-born Israelis and over half belonging to the second generation. Arabs comprise 20.8% of the population, while other ethnic groups constitute 4.4%. Globally, there are approximately 14 million Jews, meaning that Israeli Jews represent 43% of the worldwide Jewish community. This pivotal demographic fact has earned Israel the moniker, the land of the Jews. In this chosen land, rich with historical significance, countless mysteries and wonders await exploration, reminding us of the divine presence that permeates its very essence. National service. In some countries, students dream of going to top universities like Harvard, Princeton, or Yale. But in Israel, many 17-year-olds are busy preparing to join different parts of the military instead. They train hard to become pilots, special forces soldiers, or work in other important roles like intelligence or computer systems. Israel is a small country that many people around the world call a miracle because of its unique qualities. Despite being small, it has really good universities and colleges. Some of them are among the best in the world. Even though Israel has a small population, it has a lot of engineers and scientists. They also write a lot of important scientific papers. But in Israel, going to university isn't always the most important thing after high school. Sometimes what matters more is if you served in the military and which part you served in. When people go for job interviews, they often get asked about their military experience. In other countries, the military can only take volunteers, but in Israel, they can pick the best people. Even big military schools like West Point in the United States can't do that. They have to hope that really smart people will want to join them. They can't look at everyone's school grades and pick the best ones like the Israeli military does. A salty soak. Before visiting the Dead Sea, a famous tourist spot on the border of Israel and Jordan known for its healing mineral-rich salt water, it's important to be cautious. The water here has an extremely high concentration of salt and minerals which can easily get into your skin through pores and the outer layer. To avoid discomfort, it's best not to do anything that makes your skin sensitive, like shaving, waxing, or hair removal before taking a dip in the Dead Sea. One blogger shared her experience of feeling a burning sensation on her skin as soon as she entered the water because she had shaved her legs the night before. Even small scratches can sting when they come in contact with the seawater. Despite the discomfort, some people find benefits from soaking in the Dead Sea. Calluses may disappear after bathing, and walking barefoot on the salt-crystallized beach can be enjoyable, though it's important to be cautious as small salt crystals can cut the soles of your feet. Additionally, it's advisable to wear shoes if you have sensitive skin, even when swimming in the sea. Avoid splashing water or rubbing your eyes as the high salt content can cause irritation. After your time in the Dead Sea, rinse off with fresh water to remove any salt residue from your skin. Tipping in Israel. It's important to remember to leave tips for servers when dining out in Israel. Unlike in many other places, restaurant and cafe servers in Israel generally don't receive a salary and rely solely on tips from customers. This means that tipping is almost like a mandatory practice in the service industry, including restaurants, bars, hotels, and similar establishments. While there are no strict rules about tipping, it's common to leave around 10 to 15% of the total bill as a tip. Sometimes the tip may already be included in the bill, so it's essential to check before adding an extra tip. Tipping is a way to show appreciation for good service, so if you're satisfied with the service, leaving a tip is a nice gesture. Tips can be given directly to the staff or left in a tip jar at the checkout counter, depending on the establishment's practices. So next time you dine out in Israel, remember to consider leaving a tip for the servers who rely on them to make a living. Respectful attire. It's important to dress modestly and respectfully when visiting Israel, as it is a holy land for Judaism. Regardless of gender, it's essential to consider dressing modestly, especially in public places like churches or temples, and particularly in tourist areas. While tourists can still dress comfortably, it's best to avoid clothing that is overly revealing. In sacred places such as churches or temples, it's important to refrain from wearing t-shirts or shorts that expose too much skin, especially above the knees. This rule of dressing modestly is not unique to Israel, but is also a common principle in Islamic countries worldwide. Dressing modestly demonstrates respect for the history, religion, and culture of the country being visited and helps avoid uncomfortable situations. Additionally, when visiting sacred places, there are certain etiquettes to observe. These include refraining from touching religious texts like the Quran without permission, seeking permission before taking photos, and avoiding walking in front of people who are praying. These practices show reverence for the sacredness of the place and the customs of the local community. Respecting Kashrut. When dining at an Israeli's home, it's important to be mindful of certain customs, including the Kashrut law. Kashrut refers to a set of religious dietary laws followed by Jews dictating what foods can be consumed according to Jewish law. Food that adheres to Kashrut guidelines is called kosher, meaning fit or proper in Hebrew. These laws prohibit the consumption of certain animals like pork and shellfish, along with most insects, with some exceptions such as certain locust species that are considered kosher. Additionally, the slaughter of poultry must follow a specific procedure called shechita. Kashrut laws also extend to agricultural products, impacting the suitability of food for consumption. These laws are derived from the books of Leviticus and Deuteronomy in the Torah, with their practical application and details determined through oral traditions recorded in later rabbinical literature. While the Torah doesn't explicitly state the reasons behind Kashrut laws, some believe they serve as tests of obedience. However, for non-believers, adhering to Kashrut can be challenging, leading to inadvertent mistakes. Therefore, when dining in an Israeli home, it's essential to be mindful of these customs to avoid inadvertently causing offense to the host. Small hats. The question of how Jewish men keep their small hats in place without slipping off is a common curiosity. Known as kippah or yarmulkes, these small round hats are worn as a sign of respect, covering the top of the head, which is believed to connect to the sky in Jewish tradition. While these hats are symbols of reverence, their small size and soft material make them prone to falling off or being blown away by the wind. To prevent this, various methods have been devised. Metal hair clips are commonly used to secure the hat tightly to the hair. Some individuals opt for quick-drying glue or adhesives inside the hat, though this may cause discomfort when removing. Others apply chewing gum or paper to increase friction with the scalp. For a bolder approach, double-sided tape or adhesive materials can be used directly on the scalp. Technological advancements have led to innovative solutions such as hats with magnets or small fans to enhance stability and comfort. Navigating political discussions. Avoiding discussions about politics is crucial when visiting Israel, a country grappling with political complexities. Social norms and cultural regulations often dictate limits on political discourse and public spaces to prevent conflict or disturbances. It's important to recognize the country's instability and refrain from expressing views contrary to prevailing political opinions, as this may lead to trouble. Assumptions, rumors, and speculation about politics, culture, or religion can be offensive and provocative, hindering efforts to resolve issues. Respecting these sensitivities is essential for fostering positive interactions and contributing to a respectful atmosphere during your visit to Israel. Understanding Bar and Bat Mitzvah. In Jewish tradition, the transition to adulthood is marked by a ceremony known as Bar Mitzvah for boys and Bat Mitzvah for girls. According to Jewish laws, boys become adults at age 13 and girls at age 12. At this pivotal moment, they assume responsibility for their actions and adherence to Jewish laws, traditions, and ethics. The ceremony typically takes place on the first Sabbath following the boy's 13th or girl's 12th birthday. During the event, the individual reads from Jewish scriptures and wears tefillin, symbolizing their commitment to God's word. Families celebrate with joyous festivities, feasting, and community gatherings. Some communities confer certificates of adulthood, while others use the Aramaic term Bar Baraka to denote son of blessing. This ceremony, although deeply rooted in tradition, may differ across Jewish communities. Some Christians also adopt similar rites for their children. While it may raise questions about early adulthood and its implications, it's important to respect the cultural significance of this milestone without imposing personal opinions. The Hebrew calendar. While many countries adhere to the Gregorian calendar, Israel utilizes its own unique calendar system, the Hebrew calendar. Primarily employed to determine Jewish religious holidays, it plays a pivotal role in scheduling Torah readings, daily psalms, and various ritualistic observances. Serving as the official calendar for civilian and agricultural purposes in Israel, it has historical significance dating back millennia. Originally, the Hebrew calendar governed all aspects of daily life until the adoption of the civil calendar following Jerusalem's conquest of Pompeii in 20 BC. Over time, the Hebrew calendar evolved, incorporating lunar observations for month determination and agricultural markers such as the ripening of barley for the Aviv stage and the addition of extra months to align with Passover's timing. The Hebrew language revival. Israel stands as the only nation endeavoring to resurrect an ancient language, a journey spanning over 3,000 years. Hebrew, the language of the Jewish people, had once slumbered deeply but was reawakened in the land of Israel. Celebrated annually on the birthday of Eliezer ben Yehuda, the father of modern Hebrew, Hebrew Language Day commemorates this linguistic revival. This resurgence is a remarkable tale in human history, with Hebrew boasting roots dating back millennia. Over 150 years ago, Hebrew was virtually extinct as a spoken language, with no native speakers. However, today, over 9 million people speak Hebrew, with many considering it their mother tongue. Despite centuries of dormancy, Hebrew persisted in religious rituals and scholarly circles. It eventually evolved into the language of poetry and academic discourse among Jewish scholars, particularly during the diaspora. Each generation was urged to study Hebrew to access traditional texts and rituals. The revival of Hebrew breathed new life into everyday discourse, reclaiming its role in secular and national life, transcending its ancient origins to thrive in the modern era. Military culture. In Israel, the sight of individuals, including young women, carrying rifles in public is a common occurrence. This practice stems from regulations within the Israeli Defense Force, or IDF, where all soldiers, regardless of gender, are required to carry firearms, even during off-duty hours. As a result, Israeli female soldiers, both active and reserve, are frequently seen with rifles slung over their shoulders, even while wearing casual attire or bikinis. Contrary to being perceived as a burden, carrying firearms is deeply ingrained in the military culture of Israel. In fact, the IDF actively encourages its female members to share photos on social media, showcasing their dedication and fostering a positive image of the military. This initiative aims to attract more young women to join the IDF. Israel boasts one of the highest percentages of women in its military worldwide, with up to 34% of the total regular military and 57% of military officers being female. Moreover, an overwhelming majority of military positions, up to 92%, are open to Israeli women, showcasing a level of gender inclusivity unmatched by other nations. Despite the challenges of military service, Israeli women have displayed extraordinary courage and sacrifice, with 535 female soldiers having lost their lives in combat activities between 1962 and 2016, underscoring their dedication to defending their country. Yom Kippur observance. During Yom Kippur, Israel undergoes a noticeable transformation as airports, public transportation, radio stations and television broadcasts come to a halt and streets become deserted. This Day of Atonement, observed by the Jewish faith, marks a period of fasting and prayer lasting 25 hours, starting at sunset. Motor vehicle travel is avoided, with many secular Israelis turning the day into a cycling festival, enjoying car-free roads. Airports and border crossings close, reopening only after the conclusion of Yom Kippur. Public transportation halts with only limited train services operating. The silence descends over radio and television stations, and the streets remain devoid of motor vehicles until the holiday's conclusion, signalling a time of solemn reflection and observance for the Jewish community. The Western Wall. The Western Wall, located in Jerusalem, holds profound significance for Jews worldwide, serving as the holiest of destinations. Constructed by King Herod the Great on the Temple Mount nearly 2,000 years ago, it stands as a symbol of Jewish faith and resilience. Millions of believers and pilgrims visit each year, drawn by its spiritual aura and historical importance. For Jews, the Western Wall represents not only a link to their ancient past, but also a beacon of hope for the future. It is a place of prayer where worshippers insert written prayers into crevices, seeking solace and divine intervention. Modest attire and reverence are customary when visiting, with visitors often donning a kippah as a sign of respect. The Western Wall continues to be a place where the devout gather to connect with their faith, making it a cherished symbol of Jewish identity and heritage. This concludes our exploration of unique aspects of Israel, each offering insight into its rich cultural tapestry and spiritual significance. If you found this information intriguing, be sure to like, share and subscribe for more enlightening content in the future.